There's a new frontrunner in the race to become Malaysia's next Prime Minister. After another day of turmoil, Muhyiddin Yassin has emerged as the candidate to beat. He secured support from both major opposition parties, UMNO and PAS, as well as his own Bersatu party, including Dr Mahathir Mohamad. Around 100 MPs are now said to be openly backing Mr Muhyiddin, effectively putting him just ahead of Anwar Ibrahim in a tight race. More now on these political developments in Malaysia. We're joined by Dr Johan Saravanamuttu. He's an analyst from the Rajaratnam School of International Studies at NTU here in Singapore. Firstly, with UMNO and PAS putting their support behind Bersatu's Muhyiddin Yassin, he's now the clear frontrunner, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And what a difference a day makes, right? Up till about 6:30 this evening, Anwar was the frontrunner with about 92 or 93 parliamentarians behind him. But Asmin's group of 10 joined Muhyiddin, increasing the party's numbers to 36. And then PAS and UMNO announced just about a few hours ago that they will change their position from wanting snap polls to supporting Muhyiddin. However, we still have to wait for the Sarawak parties, the GPS from Sarawak, as well as the Warisan from Sabah, to see if they have come out in support of Muhyiddin. But the news is that they are more or less leaning that way. So Muhyiddin is indeed the frontrunner.
Dr. Johan, I have a question. So if Muhyiddin is the frontrunner and he has most numbers, so let's say if the numbers between him and Anwar, just a slither, maybe 1 or 2 points, does the king have the decree to pick his own prime minister, or does he need to go by the numbers?
The king has a very important role, and this is a very wise king, I must say. He's taken his time to talk to all the members of parliament. And now the second round of discussion, and also he held a meeting of the Conference of Rulers. And the second round of discussion is with the political leaders. Now he has to establish clearly from the political leaders who they're actually supporting for PM. So they are basically just two contenders. Mahathir has ruled himself out, or maybe the king has ruled him out. He's just the interim prime minister. So the king, at the end of the day, will make that decision and that announcement.
So do you see then this being the end is in sight then for Dr Mahathir?
Mahathir, I think, still has a role to play because after having resigned as chairman of Bersatu, he's decided to come back to the party. And there are some sort of rumors floating around that he might actually become a kind of a minister mentor under Muhyiddin. After all, Muhyiddin was under him before. So that's the kind of role that he could play. Very likely, yeah, I think.
So, Dr. Johan, speaking of the alliance, what is actually tying Bersatu, UMNOs and PAS together, given that they were previously opposed to each other?
Yes. In a sense, this is somewhat like the old BN government. I think they're going to give it a new name called Perikatan Malaysia, or the New Malaysian Alliance. It is essentially the same, call it revolving doors, if you like, the same individuals coming in and out of parties. So the only difference here is that the Islamic Party has decided to join forces with UMNO. And this has been the result of the GE14 and the political maneuverings. And they formed this thing called the Muafakat Nasional. And so now PAS is part and parcel of that coalition. And of course, you always had the Sabah and the Sarawak parties waiting for a kind of a situation in the peninsula to determine whether they should support this party or that party. So it does look as if we're back to a sort of a Barisan National type government now.
And looking on the other side of that, what does this mean for Anwar Ibrahim's chances?
Well, leader of the opposition, and he was making a joke when the crisis was on that he could go for the 9th PM position, the 9th Prime Minister of Malaysia. So elections could be in a couple of years or 3 years, and I'm sure the PH parties will continue to contest in elections. They do have a coalition which is a combination of Malay-based and non-Malay-based parties. I think what they need to do is to get support from Sabah and Sarawak. And if they do that, we will be back to two coalition politics. In fact, I would say we are still in the sort of system where we have two coalition politics, and Anwar is now back in the opposition.
Okay, I've just got a quick thought, just to get a quick thought from you on this. You've just had some news come in that Attorney General Tommy Thomas has resigned. I'm not sure if you've heard this news. The AG is the key figure in prosecutions related to 1MDB. Tommy Thomas was appointed by Dr Mahathir. This resignation could just be coincidence, do you think? It's too soon to really understand what's going on there? This is related, obviously, to the 1MDB prosecutions that are going on with former Prime Minister Najib Razak.
Right. I think it could be just, kind of Tommy Thomas would probably think of himself as being appointed by a PH government, Pakatan Harapan government. And since Pakatan Harapan is no more in control, he's decided to resign. Although the new government hasn't yet been formed, so I'm not exactly sure what exactly this is, why this has happened here.
All right, we'll have to watch this space on that one. Thank you so much, Dr. Johan, for giving your thoughts this evening. Dr. Johan Saravanamuttu from the S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies at NTU here in Singapore.